was a remix from Pitbull in 2012. I'm a big Pitbull fan.
It's still top of the
I
chart.
love Pitbull. I love Pitbull for everything. The way it performs,
His
the way
energy,
exactly. We can't
his
nothing that
and
way.
style.
And style, the
Yeah.
dressing, and then
Yeah.
his business acumen. It's just
Facts.
like me. So hearing that from him, I think we had remixes from everybody. Estelle, Wale, everybody.
You ask me where I get all my energy from. From the stage to the studio and to my desk. I am the energy god. And you can be one too.
You're listening to Adeshokwe Live, the Afrobeats podcast.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to a brand new edition of Adeshokwe Live, the official Afrobeats podcast, where we break down the hottest topics in the culture. And sometimes I'm joined by a special guest in the building, one-on-one. As always, if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Click the subscription button now. Let's take our numbers up. The bigger our platform gets, the better we're in position to promote our own people and culture without waiting for others to promote us. This is brought to you by the Energy God. Energy drink and stay energized. This is for us by us. So go to energygod.com, support the movement. We're getting bigger. We appreciate the support as always. And again, Anchor Car Sales. If you're based anywhere in the United Kingdom, you want to buy yourself a brand new car, you've got a budget, there'll be somebody there to work with your budget to get you your dream car and drive it to you wherever you are. Now, back to the studio here in the Afromedia Studios in London. I am joined by a special guest all the way from Lagos, Nigeria, via Abuja and the entire world. One of the pioneers of Afrobeats, Afropop, a legend in the game. Some people call him Banga. Some people call him Bangali. Some people call him dbanj. Other people call him Dapo. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the icon. The badge is in the building. The badge is in the building.
I'm the Banj, or Ski Banj, like my Jamaican friends call me. Capella, like my South Africans call me. Mensa, like my Ghanaians call me. Free K, like my Liberians call me. We'll stop there, but if you have been to the eastern side of Nigeria, Osinawata Borogarayawan, importer, exporter. And I must greet you specially, brother.
Listen, my brother.
It's good to be here.
Listen, man.
Person, eh? I love it.
It's amazing to have you in the building, to have you in the country.
Yes,
you
it is.
Look and smell like money.
Oh my God!
How are you doing?
Yes, it's my birthday in a couple of days, so I feel grateful to God. I feel honored, humbled at the same time, just to be the vessel of hope that I am.
Your energy hasn't changed from the first time I saw you, well over a decade now. It's been the same, the same energy. What keeps you that?
A bottle of energy God drink in the morning when I wake up after break. Listen, when you were taking it, I was like, I need to talk to you about this. Come. We need to talk. You know that I'm energy and this. Congratulations on this. I've seen this, and I really love what you're doing with the branding. But yeah, I need to taste it and then
definitely,
and then add it into the routine.
You can add it into the routine.
But my energy is from God. I think understanding very early in life your gift and understanding what makes you, what makes you tick. So my energy is 100 whether I'm with you or I'm alone or with hundreds of people. It's because it's coming from within. I remember speaking to someone and I was saying that I don't know if it's weird, but I can entertain myself by myself.
Yeah.
I can. I think that's what I now give to
enjoying
people.
Yourself's company.
Yes.
Last year, you celebrated 20 years.
Yes, still celebrating. We're still moving.
We're still on that celebration.
Yes. I can't believe it's been 20 years.
That's the question. You don't look like you've spent 20 years in the scene. You don't look a day older than when we saw you then. Maybe the beard is the only different thing, but it's still the same youthfulness. Yeah. Talk to me about waking up and finding out that you've been doing this professionally for 20 years.
Wow. So last year, that was like a whole change for me, because just like yesterday, it was 2004 when we released Tongolo. make I tell them the Coco. Released Mobola Onwa, which both were recorded here in the UK before we went back to Nigeria. So just waking up and seeing that it's 20 years already. Honestly, it doesn't, it feels like 5 years. It feels like, I don't know. And I think that's because of so much that has happened, so much greatness that God has used myself and the team and the people that have worked with to achieve. In Even though we say it's 20 years, but 20 years of any career is not, even as a tailor, or even as just as a doorman self. So yeah,
Fact.
it's not a joke. So I'm so grateful. I look back and I'm like, wow. But it feels like as if I just started. So I'm like, okay, let's go. They say 50 is the new, every 30 is the new 50. And
I just saw a video online. Shout out to Mr. Jollof. He said that we should scrap the full at 40.
40.
We need to move it up to 55.
Oh my God. Well, I like to think about it most times when I hear a fool at 40 is a fool forever. I think last year I kind of got the meaning. I don't think they really mean like, saying a fool. In celebrating 20 years, I realized that I was turning 44 last year. So and I think I was with a group of friends and we're talking, and then someone said to me that, when they say a fool at 40 is a fool forever, what they mean is that at 40, they should know you for something. Doesn't mean that you have to be extremely at the top of it, but
Yeah.
they should know at 40
this
years
is what
old,
you
yeah, if they say shops, they know that
This
they will
one,
give you
this
this
one.
one, or
Yeah.
you can do a lot of things, but they should know you at least for something, because
Fact.
that means you should have found yourself, you should have made those mistakes, you should be awoke to already know that it's now time for you to receive. That's so for me, and I just love it. I love it. I feel like I'm 24 again.
Absolutely. One of the things that really excited me when you were going around celebrating that 20th anniversary was when we saw a video of you with Don Jazzy.
Oh.
That got me excited.
Oh, of course.
That got the fans excited. Of course, there will probably be relationships behind the scenes that we didn't know that existed. What was it like just reconnecting with some of the people that were part of this journey, especially that ingredient in Don Jazzy again?
Oh, the story of 20 years is not even complete without Don Jazzy.
Facts.
We started here together and then went back to Nigeria 21 years ago, and in believing in each other, taking that risk and going back to Nigeria to grind without any support, and saying today where we were last year just made it right for me to reach out to each and everyone that has played a very vital role, and Jazzy has. So I called him up and I said, I'm coming through, this is what I have in mind. And of course it's Jazzy, so it was so welcoming. And then when we spoke, I told him I think I want to do one trailer like John Wick. He said, oh, what we go do? I said, you go shoot, come, you go save me, the way we do. And I'm sure you saw that trailer.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
everybody thought that, oh my God, this is a movie or something. But that's because it's the relationship has always been real, and understanding where God has taken us to, and both of us being who we are today, achieving both our dreams, beyond our dreams. I would say that it was no better time for me to connect. And when I got there, I even saw his dad, Papa Maven,
Yeah.
who is also part of the story. I remember as
Maven
far
grandpa.
back, 2005, I think we went to went to Dublin. Also, yes, Ireland, and then the whole journey of how the whole family came together, and then today to seeing how great the movement has been. It's just so humbling.
Now the question would always be for huge fans of us, of you guys, would be, is there ever going to be an It's Don Jazzy again
Oh, like a record?
record?
Like a
Is there ever, is there the potential
Of course.
of anything?
Listen, first of all, I know that there is, but secondly, I know that there are even records right now that you guys have not heard that already have It's Don Jazzy again on it. Yes, because when we, I say when we divorce, as I say, part of what I got back as as our settlements were my catalog, and maybe I don't know how many songs, unreleased songs of Don Jazzy. I remember listening to one the other day when I was with my brother, my mentor as well, Two Face. You know, I was with Two Face and we're talking. I was like, listen, you get one song we would do with jazz that we're about to release it, but then everything came up and chaos, and then we played it, and it sounded so fresh. It sounded so 2025.
Good
And
music doesn't sound old.
I remember sending Don Jazzy, say, boy, you remember this place? Of course. I said, you know what? And then I called Spinner and like went to him. I said, I want to put out this record now. I want to just, I think, like you said, for those great fans that have followed the story, loved the journey in 20 years, I think I owe it to them to serve you guys those great contents that we have. Either to me, I feel that maybe it wasn't the right time, but there's no such time as now. And there's no better time, you know, starting from the days of not this era, not the digital era, now moving into this. I think not just that, I listed them, and I think we had about 11 or 12 songs.
We need to hear them.
Yeah, I think that one with Two Face, I'm dropping it quick.
Oh, it's no time.
Yes, it's titled
You dey cook.
It's cook finish.
Cheers.
It's called I'm Feeling Good. And you know I'm always feeling good. And if you know too, Baba is feeling good. So that was the first one we did. I think it leaked. Because when I got to Spinell's place, I said, listen, Spinell said, Baba, we know this record, you're real fans. I said, wow. So I think for us, also because the distribution wasn't as...
It wasn't as solid and structured.
You don't even know how great to the ends your music went. You know? I think that's one other thing that made us so hungry. Because while you're marketing and promoting yourself, you don't know where you reach. Unlike now, where you can just check and say, I'm there, top one, But that one, you are working till you are working forever, you know. Someone was telling me about Fall in Love. I was talking to Queen Mama Africa. I call her Mama Africa, Yemi Alade.
Yep.
You know, she sent me a cover. And I told her that...
Continue. Don't worry, they will handle it. Yeah.
I said, so she sent me a cover of Fall in Love, and I heard it, and I was like, are you sure this is a cover or our next Grammy? and the story behind it for me, when she was talking to me about how Fall in Love inspired her, when she heard Fall in Love, and also she heard the beautiful lady's voice
in the background.
Yes, the Sierra Leone girl that was in
Who's that?
She's I'll ask Jazzy for her name again, but she is from Sierra Leone.
Wow.
And she came to Nigeria then to study in Muson, you know, the music.
Yeah, the music.
So that's where we met her. And you know, Jazzy is Jazzy. So in fact, that was like the last thing. We woke up in the morning and then that part was there. I was like,
wow.
I didn't even know she had that kind of a great voice when we saw her. But I used to say, Jazzy, at that time you did produce. I swear, invest. so and it's because everything was done from his heart and from we put everything in it. And I was telling her that Fall in Love must have done maybe 2 years before we started thinking of shooting a video for it.
No way.
Yeah, it came out in 2008 and the video came out in 2010. And in fact, that's why we had to shoot such a video. That's why we now went, what else can we shoot? Because the song was already arguably the biggest wedding song as at that time. I've done so many weddings, and even up to date, I meet people that say, oh my God, my parents got married to your song, or we got proposed to your song. And I was like, that's it. So listening to that and enjoying that, speaking to Yemi and seeing how much impact that alone did, even before ever knowing I was going to meet her, is the reason why we're doing this. It's the reason why I also celebrated the 20 years with Don Jazzy.
One of the reasons why I wanted us to have this conversation is I want a lot of like young artists and people just to be able to learn from this. Now, you mentioned something very key, the marketing and promotion of the songs back then. Can you just take us through some of your promotion and marketing tactics during those times when you were promoting singles? What was it like?
It was everything. It was, like I always say that now, I'm the social, you're the media, together is social media. That time you were everything. You dress how you want to be addressed, you come out, you move with it, you have to own the song, you know. So from you finishing, it was such a great process then because it was so organic.
Yep.
So I remember sometimes we drive straight to the club, play it in the club, once we like it is out. That's it.
No time.
In fact, we used to do mixing, but sometimes, you know, the problem with mixing is that when you mix a record, sometimes they tone down some things you already like. So just say, no, I say we like another movie, and bam. So from releasing it, you know that you have to walk it like as if it's a new one. And because, of course, it was not a digital era, so you have to go to the radios, you have to go to clubs, you have to go everywhere. TVs. You have to go. You have to go as far as Alaba. Yes, they do some mix.
Some
That they do
mixtapes
that
and
goes out
everything.
from Lagos
Yeah,
about
to the rest of the
everywhere in the world. That big Jigga man. You don't know big Jigga
I
man.
used to take pictures in front of the
Bros
city.
Jigga man. That's Bros Jigga man G. That's like, so you had to own it. I remember we went through so many processes. After sending our first album, I think we did 1 million. And then we knew we had done more than 1 million, but because there was no proper accountability, we're like, no, the next one we got to do it ourselves. So I remember approaching UAC, the owners of Mr. Biggs.
Yeah.
And then we got a franchise deal to distribute across all the 130 Mr. Biggs stores.
No.
And that was one of our greatest things to know that, there's potential.
So you
in this.
know, you can count the numbers.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Innovation
Oh,
at
yes.
that
Oh,
time.
yes. So partnership, because we had to collaborate. You had to look for who has what you need, and you can give them what you have. And that's how marketing became as big continually.
Wow,
Mm-hmm.
that's crazy. Now at the peak where dbanj now was traveling the world, you and Don Jazzy, you be whispering into his. Sometimes I even thought he couldn't speak.
Oh,
was that a
was
plan
branding.
when you?
That was branding. That was
Crazy
intentional
branding.
branding. So I remember they had nominated. They had done an award. I think it's 2006. I'm not sure if it's Eddie's or some of them, and they didn't nominate Mohits. And we had so many great success that year. And then me and Jazzy were talking, like, it's because we are the only executives that are actually active. So even though we were the owners of the record label, we were both the artists and the producer. So there are times that you had to,
somebody has to fall back into it.
You had to do this, you had to do that. So we spoke, and I think that's when we realized, and I said, you know what, even though I'm a year older than Jazzy, we had to speak then and say, we need to pay them full respect. They need to fear you. Maybe they got the fear us, maybe they fear me, they don't know what it is. So say, as you do that, maybe they say, you be like, 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 don't. They say, eh. So half of the time when I say, I whisper in his ears, like, we didn't say anything. I just he trusts me enough, as I trust him enough to deliver on what we've set our minds to do, and we didn't disappoint. So I remember the first show that we had on stage was Alibaba, one of the shows, I think it was 2007, 2008. And then we had the president of the country. It was in the crowd. The former governor of Lagos, Minister of Works, Fashola, was also there.
Yeah.
We had all the white cap chiefs, red cap chiefs, Oba of Lagos. It was such a full room. And then as Jazzy came out, that was the first major time after that nomination. I remember just prostrating for him fully on the floor, because that was very intentional. So as Jazzy came out, I went down, and that was what switched everything, because everybody already saw me already. So as Jazzy came out, I just double fully. Patata. Say this, and then Jazzy to just stand. Say, we wrote this manuscript, and then from there, then everybody got the narrative. People thought it was older than me. People thought it was even, maybe he signed me. They didn't know it was a 50-50 agreement.
It was a partnership.
But it was so intentional to take us from where we were to where we needed to be, and that worked. That's why today the sisters say Jazzy, I hope pass that, although I'm a vampire.
Now, something happened a couple of weeks ago. I just went online. I was there, and I'm like, we need to be teaching these young ones about where we've come from. We have to be very intentional, or else that history, all of that disappears. And I posted the video of Kanye West coming on stage.
Oh wow! For the chain in London here.
In London.
Yeah, this London. They're supposed to give me passport or something like that. Do they have like a MFM something, CFR something? King Charles.
Yeah, of course.
King Charles, I must greet you specially. Papa, check my record. If you check my record, you also dance to my music. You were not a king then, sir. I know, sir, but she was the queen, and in the name of the queen, the Lord, Oshama. But the king, check it out. You must really call me to the palace. Let me give you some things. We wrote this script. Kanye West was there in 2009. I think that was 2009.
I think it was 2000. And that day is a very memorable one for me, because I was in the audience. I was in the audience with my brother Larry. We're at the back. And we're watching the band. Everybody's going crazy. We're enjoying it. And then the whole music stopped. And you stepped to the front and kind of like sat down or knelt down with the mouth organ and you went into
turn on the lights.
And everybody was like, what's he doing? But By the time you finished that, they just dropped the music.
Yeah.
But Kanye West just came out.
Yeah.
Fell down like 3 times.
I fell down like 3 times too.
And I tried to explain to people that was when Kanye West was
Listen.
Kanye West. Like, this ain't
That's
no
the biggest brand in the world at that time.
biggest brand
You
in
know,
the world.
arguably don't. And they literally just left. If you look at that video, it was wearing the same outfit he wore at the VMAs.
No way.
Because it flew directly from the VMAs to the show. And it was that same VMA that Beyonce announced she was pregnant. So it's actually, you can check, it's an iconic one when it was standing next. It was wearing a denim. And I was watching the show here in London.
Yeah.
Then after preparing for my own concert, Coco concert,
Yeah.
not knowing that it was coming to surprise me. So it was totally a
So
surprise.
you didn't know.
I had no idea, but my management team did, and I think he liked it. They planned it like that. So we had done. I had scheduled to change 3 times, so I had done the first change. So as I was coming back to change the second time, I walked into my changing room and I just saw Kanye. Only me want to die. I said, "Hey, Kanye!" And I think because we had already grown. We already had a bond.
Yeah.
And he's Gemini like myself. It's a day before my birthday. So I understand the greatness that, that sits in him. And for him being the first person to spot that, people do not know when they give credit to this, credit to that. Kanye personally backing
you at
us,
that time.
Afrobeats generally.
And he came out.
Yes, Afrobeats.
Physically.
Yes. Beyond that, I remember when we met him, he said, which sound is this? He wanted, he loved it. He said he has sent people to school then to create some kind of sound. And as he headed out featuring Snoop, it was like, no, we got to walk. So him coming out was not me. I didn't pay for that. I didn't do anything. He surprised me on stage and he said, so what do you want us to do? I said, what do you want us to do? If we just walk on stage and do like this, it's fine. He said, no, I have something better. And then so I'll play Turn on the Light. I said, I'll play Mouth Organ to it. He said, and then let's just so it wasn't freestyle that we did, and that changed everything. I think that is one of the biggest visible hope that we as African artists
1,000,000%
that made us know that
we are there.
We can.
That changed our lives.
Yeah. And so I'm so grateful, like I said, to have been the vessel. 1, 2. Why London? Could have been anywhere in the world.
Facts.
And today London speaks so well. And after Nigeria, London will probably be the second home of Afrobeat. So, God is such a great chess player. I say he ordains everything. So why was it London that year? Why is it Oliver Twist, the first African, top 10 chart in London before global? So it's because of how he has arranged it. And because when they write a story, he wants to be intentional about it. So a big shout out to Kanye West for, seeing us and seeing through us and seeing the potential of what African music, of African talents generally could be. A big shout out for also how he took us. It wasn't, like I said, because we're from Africa, our deal was, no, it was literally, it was a partnership that we had.
Wow.
Yes. It was
that
a partnership.
early on.
Yeah, I remember we spoke about it, and so we had 2 different deals. One was a production deal for Don Jazzy, which kicked off immediately. Jazzy produced the Watch the Throne album with a lot of great producers there, and then mine was a JV deal on how we can create that bridge that every other person could channel through. Because one thing that we always need or realized we needed was the access.
Yes.
The funding wasn't what we needed. We always have the funding.
Yep.
The funding, we have funding back at home. We have funding now, it's even bigger. We had funding when it was not as big as this, when it was so hard to knock through the doors.
Yep.
But now we have funding sitting everywhere. So access to be able to play on the same level ground with the world, that's what we've always wanted. And when people say, oh, Afrobeat is so big today, I say it's always been big. It's just that now you guys are hearing it because you have some access to it. So there's nothing. I remember as far back as that 2012, I didn't know who played the song. I just found that the song was played at Hyde Park.
Yep.
New Year's
Eve celebration.
And I followed
BBC
it straight up, and I hit the cold weather. So that was early January, and I flew to London because I had to follow the signs. You see signs you have to follow till you see the wonders. Except if it's a bad sign.
Once the movement was on.
Oh yeah. So I came. I checked. I saw that it was curated by BBC. Yeah. I went straight to BBC. I don't know anybody. I said, who is this DJ Ryan? One Indian.
Yeah.
And Edu too was there. I said, come. Who did it? He said, is this your song? I said, yes. He said, this your song? I said, yes. I said, why you put it there? He said, if you release this song here for somebody to be a hit. I did not leave London again till I released the song. Because I followed through with it. And then And that's how it became so. And I remember also as at that time, just emailing Kanye, because I never used to use mobile phone then. So just emailing, and saying, yo, Kanye, this record, da 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 da. They said there's a potential of it being a hit. I just want you to know this is the plan. I want to go fully on it. Kanye responds, I'm in London.
Damn.
So it was so timely. He said, I'm in London, let's meet Lanesborough Hotel. I met him, the whole good music were there. And he said, what do you need from me? I said, need from you. If you can send me everybody just to be in the video. You know how people, they can doubt a lot. If they just see you in the video, Kanye was like, and I think Kanye, now that I see that he likes to surprise. He was like, yo, he's not sure that he'll be able to make it, but it will make everybody come. So we had the whole good music and the music video shoot. You had Big Sean, Pusha T, Sire the Prince, you had Manny Fresh, you had everybody. And we had finished shooting. Towards the end of the shot, Kanye walks into the video shoot. And I remember Shasson was shooting the video, and we're shooting in this building where Rihanna shot Cheers to the Freaky Weekend.
Yep.
And so we're like, stop. Kanye West is in the video. And you know me, I always tell Kanye West, that West in your name is for West Africa. You know, that's where, I think that time, if he has followed me since to come to Nigeria, all this is where they happen. You go support. So when we cover our spiritually, physically, and
we go
so for me, that was so interesting seeing Kanye West, again come. I said, Kanye West, and then from there it just became everything.
Media, everything.
I didn't shoot anything else. I just said, he said, what do you want me to do? I said, Duke. Just
stand.
Just one way. Shoot, Baba. Action. Can you say what do you do? I mean, my standing. My shaking, my shit timing. Can you say, he loves it. He loves when you're real to yourself. When you own it. I think there's a thin line between being fully awoke and knowing yourself, and then people perceiving you as being arrogant. But if you know, you know. And so he understood that, and immediately we finished. Boom. That was it, 5 minutes. I know he loved to surprise. I said, this video shoot is over. We even had a cameo appearance also from Sugar Babes.
Sugar Babes. Yeah,
that was such a great time for
They're back on the scene now, moving around, touring. Yeah, they're touring now, doing big things. I think they're going to be putting music out. What were some of the heights that you can remember for Oliver Twist in terms of charting? What were some of those key points, heights that you can remember?
Listen, Oliver Twist charting, first of all, being the first, I think it was number 3.
Yep.
In the UK R&B chart, the issues with pace setters is they said that because you're the first, you used like a pilot. So they didn't know what Afrobeat, they didn't know what genre to place it.
Yep.
So we were number 3 on the UK R&B chart, number 9
on the
official
top 10 chart.
And then number 1 in about 13 European countries, including Romania. I think it was number 1 in Romania for about 30 weeks or something, 13 weeks, thereabout. That's a place I'm going to on this my year on Romania. I'm coming there. I've checked. Thank you for social media and digital world. Now I see my
you see
now I'm coming there. That time you didn't know. But I remember doing a lot. So Europe was so big, Amsterdam, and then globally as well. I remember having so many remixes. I woke up one morning where I think we're in Qatar shooting Lamborghini Mercy video, and then they had sent us a remix from Pitbull in 2012. I'm a big Pitbull fan.
It's still top of the chart.
I love Pitbull. I love Pitbull for everything. The way it performs,
his
the way
energy,
exactly. We can't nothing that and style, the dressing, and then his business acumen. It's just like me. So hearing that from him, I think we had remixes from everybody: Estelle, Wale, everybody that remix on Oliver Twist. But that one particularly got me like, whoa. And I tried to shoot a remix video and all, but the momentum we were with that time, everything is was just through Kanye West. So you have to come and talk to Kanye West.
You have to talk to the boss at the time.
So but that is one of the great things. Then of course we did the O2 Wireless.
That was the first.
That's the first. We're the first. We did it. We did O2 Wireless. We did the BBC Acne show. We did quite all the festivals. We went on tour, 7-city tour with Labyrinth.
Yeah, Cardiff. Labyrinth at the time.
Would you let me Sleeping in your beautiful right now. So after you don't give them that one, me I will give them liberty. Everywhere they scatter. Oh my God, we did 7 CDs, then we did about 5 CDs with Rita Ora. Yeah, so that was a nice one too. So we don't already do things, you understand? But no social media for people to understand what's happening.
And that's why it's important that we have these conversations.
Oh, yes.
Now, like you said, you reach the heights, the big tours, superstar relationships, all of that type of stuff. If you're looking at now with some of our superstars now, from maybe it's the Burners, the David, the Wiz, or maybe even the Remas that are coming up,
I love Rema.
you can understand where they are now.
Oh yes.
What are some of the things you would advise them to either stay away from or put more energy into? That you picked at that peak, that now when you look at it, you can tell the Rema that, this is coming, sidestep that, but you see that one, let's do more of that.
The good thing is, it's so good if you have examples.
Yes.
For us it was harder because no one had done it before.
Yes.
So we didn't know how to place ourselves. We just had to, throw a lot of things and hope, and believe. But nowadays, because of how digital the world is, because of how advanced everything is, there are more information out there.
Yep.
More that can help you,
Yep.
which I see that these young talents have keyed into. So I would say being really awoke in knowing what you have, one. Two, especially now, being in control. However, how much you can, even if you have a major deal, just make sure that you are aware of the numbers.
Yep.
You are aware of the back end. So
Yep.
that's what's going to give you your power, generally. People, whether it's in the download streaming, you must know all the revenue streams. You
Yep.
must be able to hold on to it. One. Then two, relationships that you're building now are not for your manager. They're for you.
Say that again, sir.
The relationships that you meet along the way they are building are not for your manager. They are for you. So you are the reason why everybody's coming there. Although you are so busy or at that time just finishing a show or being caught up in the bubble, you must come down after a while and able to finesse those relationships, because that's all. That's what's going to change it from where you are now into a brand. If you look at Forbes of the richest musicians, I don't think any of them are there for music.
Absolutely.
They're there for music. Music gets you into the room, but what you do in that room is totally up to you. And I think I learned that a very long time ago. And that's how I know how to do my thing. So it's been 20 years, but I feel so fresh. And it's because I pace myself. I'm not. Are you trying to write one note?
No,
I pace myself because I understand what I'm doing. It's a long game for us. It's not. You must be able to see yourself as being more valuable than an Apple product. Because yes, Apple is the biggest company in the world if you see it, but there are places that you can go to that they don't use Apple.
Facts.
But they play music.
But they know Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah,
they know Bob Marley.
They know dbanj.
And they know the
Oh yeah, they know dbanj.
Now, how many years ago was Oliver Twist?
12 years ago, right? 12? No, 13 this year.
13 years
ago?
Out
2012.
2012? Yeah. So sometime last year, on social media, my eyes just caught a record by a Latin legend and a pop superstar and actor. I don't know if you heard this record.
Exactly. I think that's one of my highlights of last year.
Marc Anthony,
legendary,
the legendary singer.
Oh no, legendary.
I heard that song, and something just said to me, at the level that Marc Anthony was, dbanj has collected a lot of money. You cleared this record because it was simply a Latin translation of Oliver Twist. Yes. So you had that record cleared?
So no, actually, I heard it the same way you heard it. So last year, in celebrating 20 years, I think one of my greatest high points was this. Waking up to Marc Anthony.
Yes.
The Marc Anthony. Oh baby, I
Love
need you for the rest of my life. Yeah, I want you. But when great childhood, I was not even angry. I didn't first of all care about Clearance first. I want to say wow. And then he released an album last year.
Yeah.
The title of the album.
Yep.
And the track one.
That's the title of the album and the lead single.
And I listened to it, and it was just like a Latin version of Oliver Twist. I first of all happy first. At first, happy only me say yes. There's no better way to celebrate 20 years than this. Anybody that can date J-Lo, Baba. Let me first of all let it go. But my legal
business,
the business side of it, of course, when we reached out,
they didn't reach out to you. Nobody cleared any sample.
Not publishing, not mastering.
Not publishing, not mastering.
So
they put the record out officially.
Who is out?
Lead single titled of the album.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Baba,
I don't have Baba.
First of all, yes.
Thank you very much, my brother. You see, God works in mysterious ways, my brother. When you are thinking A, you don't know where it's coming.
You also have to be very honest that these type of situations happen to us as Africans a lot.
Oh, yes.
Where international superstars just take whatever they want to take. They make millions off of that.
Yeah.
And the artist is back home and doesn't know a single thing.
Remember that
about
record?
That.
Remember that World Cup record?
Yes, where Shakira said that she had the idea, but it was a Congolese. I think it was a Congolese record. And they sampled, and that was it.
You know, I'm so happy that at least now those are the advantages of the digital era. So the good thing about it is that it's already released. So I was
and it's been out for over a year.
Oh yes,
so they make money off of that.
My legal people are handling it, and I know that they're going high. But in my mind,
they have to.
Under my tone, I'm saying, I need you, Marc Anthony. You call me, my fans. Let me tell you something. So you people hit up Marc Anthony. Buy my run that. Oh, take permission or the band. But my full respect. So give him respect. Then hit him up. Say my birthday, June 9. You should just tweet me the band. I need you.
We need to
for
get
the cover.
in.
We have to play it.
Listen, we have the legal team have to get in touch.
They're already
Not
in.
only for your rights and to take care of you, but also to set a precedent. We saw it with Mr. Easy tweeting, I believe it was at Bad Bunny at the time, saying, you know, your producer hadn't cleared this record, blah, blah, blah. So it's something that not only happens to artists that don't have any status, but superstars and icons like yourselves.
And in a weird way also can happen to us. Because I wouldn't expect that Marc Anthony heard Oliver Twist and then went to the studio, called his producer and say, let's
just steal this record without giving them any credit.
No, please. Let me do it again. From the moment I met you, I know that. Only you know, maybe we were born with that song for school.
That's crazy. But honestly, who are some of the people? How would you
producers? You know, when you're working on an album, you get sent millions of records.
Yes.
You know, you probably have 50 records done, and then you want to pick your best 10.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that this was created in such a way. Maybe it was already written and then
and they just passed it on to him.
Sent it to him and said, "Listen, this is
beautiful."
And Murense, I think in Spanish means like move it. Like
let's go,
let's move. So Baba might have just heard it and then keyed into it without necessarily knowing where it's from. But it's not his job. His job as done. Finish with the record, send it to the A&R team. They are supposed
producers,
to
the record
make sure that
everybody is taken care of.
So that's where I feel that, and it only comes from one, like I said, access. So the most thing that we are not, we don't have the access. Do you understand? Which we never did before. Because before, if it's taking me 1 year or maybe 1 week to find out, imagine then how many years it would take. So, but now that our people are in positions of power, now that JVs are done with local, platforms and companies that represent us, I think we'll be able to close up on those gaps faster and get proper remuneration for people. So I'm happy that this is a kind of a good this is a good thing that can happen to you that Marc Anthony sample or so. I'm sorry.
Without clearance.
Baba mi motiwa okay. Come on, marry me in Spanish word, baba. Hey, oh my God, that's it. And I'm sure Marc Anthony no angry. We'll do it at studio, do another one. You'll be there.
1 for 1.
Liberty, labada. We'll go on in one talk. My people, hit him up. Tell him, surely nieni. How you do that? Reach the band. I'm the band. Just say I'm the punch. Marc Anthony, I need you.
Bam.
Finish. I will not be. I will not worry. I will tell my legal people to bring down the mizu and leave only.
Let's do business.
Let's do business. Thank you.
Speaking about business, you walked in here with your hat
Oh, yeah.
that stays proudly
Creme de la creme.
I know there's been 2 phases of Cream.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about phase 1 and talk to me about phase 2, where we are right now. What's the difference?
I love it. I love it. Cream, as you say, is an acronym for Creative Reality Entertainment Arts and Music.
Yep.
And it's a digital platform that we've created to be the gateway to the creative hub for Africa, providing solutions and services, for the creatives. When we started off as a talent discovery, talent mentorship. I didn't really want to sign any artist to say I wanted to build a platform that can help you just connect yourself out there.
Yep.
For 2 reasons. One, for you to sign an artist, you have to have the time, have the resources, and be ready for that. And being an active artist, 1 minute I'm here, 1 minute I'm there. So that was off the table. So I wanted a digital platform where I could still mentor them, and then also connect them in the right way. And that was the first phase.
Yep.
We supported quite a number of people, shot music videos, supported in funding, supported in branding, supported in showcasing them. Not to even mention any names, but I'm glad that over the years, what happened is I found out that I'm sitting on maybe the largest local repertoire of content on the platform. Because in me looking for a solution for them, and I found out that wow, what we have is actually is actually what is needed. If you look at the amount of records that come out, even from us yearly, how many of them are coming from a major label?
It's all indie.
So indie. So how do they put their songs out there? That was now the next question for me, because now I'm sitting with over 3,000 artists on the platform that came in need of one service or the other. And so when we started researching, we found out that, some of them already, even the song that they've uploaded, they've already distributed through a TuneCore, to a DistroKid, without knowing them. So that means they already know the DIY, ways. And so I said to myself that, listen, this is what we need to do. So the next phase for Cream now is us actually content monetizing for you. So you're on the platform, but you can do it yourself. So we are the first subscribing platform that you come on the platform and you can get distribution by yourself. So like I said, we have the tune called the United Masters. But this is the first local one. And since we launched that April 23rd, it's been mind-blowing for me, because I have seen so many quality sounds that all they need is just to be out there. I always tell people that during the first phase, even if we landed, if you had a Nigerian Idol or you had a record label and a Portable were to walk in, I love Portable being as an artist, but if he were to walk in, people would probably not sign him.
Yes.
But because he was given the access and the opportunity to play on the same level playing ground, today is who he is. So I think that is the next phase for us: talent discovery and content monetization, where you can get your music distributed while you're also still, being discovered. You can get your music distributed while you're getting grants, while you're getting funding. So being in the position that I am in, I'm also privileged over the decade to have been in rooms where I see the money that can help elevate the industry. But I know that the access to that money is slim. So you're looking like an Afrexim Bank, which is based out of Cairo, which is Africa Export and Import Bank. And this bank has $1 billion already for the creative industry. But how are they supposed to access that? Except you are using the intellectual property as collateral. How many of the artists can actually come and access the funds with a collateral? So that's when I realized what Cream Platform is here for. It's here to be that gateway. It's here to be that bridge, to be able to help your talent, to be able to monetize your content and maximize your potential.
And do you have any partnerships at the moment?
Oh, yes. Of course. MTN, Africa's leading telecommunication company, those are our partners first. And reason why we went with MTN is because they are leading when it comes to the market share, with close to 90 million subscribers in Nigeria alone. Wow. and in about 30 something African countries, so partnering with them to be able to bring our services to the masses and the people, our target audience, is one major reason why we partnered with them. So in order to partner with them, we needed to get ourselves a VAS license, which is a value-added service license from NCC, which allows Cream now to be able to connect into, MTN. So we have a dedicated short code where from the comfort of your home, you can dial the code and get distribution.
Wow.
You can dial the code *463 and you pick funding and you subscribe, and then everything is done without you leaving your home. I was a judge on Nigerian Idol, and I did it intentionally because I wanted to understand how big God gave me Cream. And sitting in front of great talents that have been in the hall maybe since 5:30 in the morning,
just looking for access,
waiting for this access, and before they get to see me or any of the judges, it's maybe 3 p.m.
hours.
I watched great talents that had already lost their voices and couldn't perform. I watched talents that by the time they got in, because of how cold the waiting room is, they already had kind of cold. And so many reasons that affected them. And most of them, when we also speak to them, I say, "Where are you from?" I say, "Oh, I'm from Abuja." "Oh, you came from Abuja for this?" "Yes." "But you funded yourself." So you're funding yourself to come for an audition without knowing where the future is. But when I finished, I said, "And only one winner." And after that, these thousands of people
that show
so
up.
That is reason why I further realized that, Cream is the future, because it is DIY, do it yourself, while you also have an opportunity to be discovered. So partnering with MTN and launching May 1st, we launched MTN Best of the Streets, which is like it sounds, a talent competition looking for the best of the street, but now at your comfort of your home. The same way you record your video and put on TikTok. You record, you subscribe, you put it on Cream. When people vote
start
for you,
to listen to it, like
once you get to top 10, you get rewarded immediately. It's actually the first talent competition that top 10 get rewarded instantly. Cash. So we have a grant of about 50,000 naira each for them. Once you get on top 10, once you get on for the week, once you get on the month, I think it's about 250, 1 million. So different tiers levels, just to help you attain while you still get your distribution. So the same subscription fee or lesser that you will pay for a tune core or a distro kit, and what you will get is just distribution. They don't
do anything. No talent competition.
Cheaper, and you'll be able to get that. And one more thing I want to add to that makes ours a bit that I would like to encourage my fellow colleagues out there. I know that we are crazy about DSPs globally, but we leave out one, which is, if not the biggest for us as Africans, which is the collarback ringtone.
Hey! And they're still getting a lot of money in East Africa, Kenya, and
in Nigeria. MTN makes about 2.5 billion every month
from collarback tunes.
That's 2.5 is close to $2 million every month. And let me tell you something. For a 1 million downloads of collarback on MTN line, it's 100 million naira. By the time everybody takes their course and pay you as an artist, you're probably getting $17,000 minimum.
Wow.
For 1 million downloads. I'm not sure if you get 1 million on Spotify.
No, if you get 1 million on Spotify or whatever, I think it's just about 4,000 or 5,000.
So if you add all of them together,
it's not up to the same.
Yes. Wow. And you see, that is one major part that people do not speak about. In fact, I don't think that most of the labels that you meet or distributors even can do that for you, because in order for you to distribute, you have to get a VAS license. So they'll have to connect through a Cream or through one of our people out there. So for a lot of people, I wanted to encourage them that before you get on the, you are looking at the top 10 Apple Music, you have the one that you can do, because for you to get 1,000 downloads on ringtone, even in your community alone, is faster for you than for you to send people to go to Spotify.
Facts.
Because you can literally pick everybody's phone and say, Uncle, have fun.
Download now.
Help me. That's one. Two, it's easier for you to promote your music faster on collarback than any other platform. Wow. Because people speak on the phone every day. So people speak on the phone, and when you call somebody, what you're hearing is the ringtone. Do you understand? So it's faster for you to promote yourself, especially within yourself, when you're not having a big backing behind you as a label.
Yeah.
So those are part of what we're bringing, added incentives, because we already have that and we know how to market it. So and for us, everybody needs to hold
Take
on.
advantage of that.
Yes. So artists out there, whether established, whether new, make sure that your distribution covers everything, not just the DSPs, but make sure you have ringtones, especially you look at your market, whichever works in your market as well, you go fully into it.
Finally, and most importantly, my brother, music and more performances. dbanj is known for iconic stage performances. That's one thing I believe you were probably naturally blessed with. And regardless of where we are today, you still look like a 24-year-old
No,
man.
I'm 24, top boy. I'm telling me, pro. Shoot.
So are we going to, one, get a brand new body of work, and are you going to back this with performances in our spaces? Europe, America. When I posted your performance at the Unity Cup on my WhatsApp story, some people hit me up from America and said it's great to see him performing. So a couple of my friends hit me up from Houston, New York, and asked. And I'm like, wow, so there's a thirst for that out there.
Oh, yes.
Will we get that?
100%. Like, it's very important for you to understand what you have. Music is so powerful, and it's so universal that once you go the dbanj route, the Dakpo Elon Musk route, you would have to balance. And it was very important for me to make sure that Cream Platform, which is my legacy, which is celebrating 20 years, moving 21 years, for me to have that platform fully where I want
functioning.
it to be. Yes, before I now go heavily. So for my fans that have waited and said, please, we are waiting for you. It's okay, wait. I'm ready for you now, because now Cream has taken off. It's on autopilot now. Everything's moving the way we are seeing great talents, and I didn't tell you, we already started distributing about 100 or so talents already on distribution. So the dream for us and the vision is actually real. But on the music side, on performance side, we'll never stop performing. I was speaking to Smade the other day, and he was like, Banga, it's okay. You have entrepreneur enough. Come out.
It's time to come out.
And I said the same thing. And speaking to Two-Face as well, myself, Two-Face was telling me, let's go on a tour together.
That'll be so
we have myself, Two-Face, we have Timaya, we have such a great body of work. And because of how our industry is, there's a big market for everyone. So yes, we'll be going on tour. New music new for you, maybe not new for me, based on what I said to you.
No, we don't care.
I have
what it is for you. You're a musician, you record 1 million.
Yeah, so for my birthday, I'm gonna probably give you a list, or I was already planning on dropping a dbanj playlist. Some are gonna be new songs, like I said, that I had never released before. Some are already released, but I felt maybe the timing, or I didn't give them enough as they should, and that is what I'm gonna be using to go on the road from this year everywhere. So from my birthday, you are going to be seeing some things. I told you I'm dropping that one with Two-Face, feeling good. I'll sample it in my birthday. Then after that, you'll be seeing some things. But for those that have waited, I really want to thank you guys. I think that will be the tag of this tour, just to thank those, because looking back 20 years, now everybody's Afrobeats, everybody's African. But I remember when in this London, it was not that great for you to say you're Nigerian. We all wanted to be Jamaican. And to be in the same stadium at Unity Cup with Stylo G, who is actually the Jamaican guy that gave me the name Skibanj. And that time it was because everybody were running towards Jamo.
The Jamo side.
And for us today to be, the new pop, there's no UK movie that I see that our music is not in it. And I remember how great it was for Oliver Twist to be played at EastEnders. When it was like, wow, everybody, Jesus Christ. But today, now, you can be in Black Panther, you can be in White Panther, you can be anywhere you want to be now. And that is also a big kudos, not just to the creatives as us, but to the whole community. It's a culture thing.
To the people.
People ask me that Afrobeat has reached its peak, you think it's going to drip? I say, I don't think so, because it's not the music that reached the peak. It's the culture that we've been
culture.
preaching.
That's
You
culture.
understand me now? So it's not about us dropping one song or people don't care about that. It's about the movement.
Us.
It's about us. And unfortunately for them, we are here and we're
Facts.
as loud
We're
as
not
possible.
going
We're
anywhere.
loud with everything. So and for once, what we've been preaching since everyone has gotten it. So we are so proud of our own. So you're talking about from tech companies to the fintech to entertainment to telecom to fashion to this. We are the number one. So the culture is not going anywhere, or the Afrobeat is not going anywhere because the culture is not going anywhere.
The
If you
people
see
are
what
there.
happened last year, Dirty December, and the report only shows you that if in a unstructured structure, in wherever how
It's
you want
still
to yab
moving.
us and they abuse us and say this about Africa, about Nigeria specifically, we can be on the map as the place to go and visit for Dirty December. That should inspire you to know that it's not about us as artists alone, but it's about everybody. And so so the economy is going to grow whether we like it or not.
Facts.
Because the music is already the biggest, content is already the biggest export. Compared to when we were growing up, when
it was
crude oil was it. So content which is natural, just as crude oil.
Yeah.
And crude oil is refined to get you different byproducts. Content is refined to give you different byproducts.
Absolutely.
And content is natural. So we're not playing with it. So if you look at whether it's a car or a cloth or anything, we're in all those spaces right now. So just in a couple of years, they might just want to make you know what I'm saying, broken English or something. One of our
Of course, Wahala don't already enter
that's
the
it.
language.
That's it.
Before we wrap up, I just want you to touch on this quickly. You've been in a relationship with your brother, like the Don Jazzy, where you had a falling out and you rekindled. Your brothers, P Square, are going through a falling out. What do you say to such a falling out? How can they get through such a difficult time?
Which kind of question this guy got?
Because your brothers.
I'm a happy person. My mind already they good at it.
Because it's a very sad one.
It is. I would only beg them. When you want to fight, you only know the beginning. You really do not know the end.
Facts.
Even if you're right, even if you're wrong, and clearly this for the legacy that God has built through them is where I feel that there can be a proper intervention.
Facts.
I know that they
That's
have
the right
tried.
word.
I know because I flew with Peter on the way here, and it was at the Unity, and we spoke. And so when he shared one or two things with me, all I could tell him is, I am so sure that if we sit
still
down,
a chance.
Now to talk now,
Facts.
and we're still alive.
Facts.
In fact, there's no better time right now.
Facts.
Because if it's even money issue, there's no better time because you guys own your catalog.
Still cash out.
So they're trying to buy my catalog. They've been trying to buy my catalog for over a decade now. But I've kept it because I know how big it can get when it's right time for it.
Yeah.
So same with P Square's catalog. It's enormous. So they can always agree. So they don't have to be a group anymore, but they can agree to, just save that. So. And everybody settle. If it's money problem, let us have the agreement. This one, what? You shop my money, yeah. No, be dead. Shop my money, shop my money. Get, I know, okay. That's why be careful the kind of song you're singing. When you're singing "Chop My Money," you don't care. Now they shop your money, you want to care? No. You have to remix it. Chop my money, this one, I care, or something. So that's what I'll say. That they should
piece it out.
I would like to beg anyone that is like a mentor to them, because this now takes beyond us colleagues. I think it's someone that they will respect, if possible, in the nation.
Facts.
Because it's
our own P Square.
It's
our own P Square.
I know that there's cases here, there's cases there, but
it can still be resolved.
Of course,
absolutely.
I remember one time where there was a bank that closed up in Nigeria.
Yeah,
and it had JG Okocha's money.
Yep.
I remember that story. I was a young boy.
Yep.
And close like that, and they say, they go, the money where JG don't work for. And I think they cried out. And then the president, I think it was Obasanjo, intervened and said, okay, I know you guys have a structure to sort other people out, but this boy,
You don't
We
try
don't
for
make us
us.
proud.
Yeah.
Get him his money. I don't know how that
Yeah.
went down, but I believe something like that can happen in this
Absolutely.
case, where if it's a money thing or if it's an agreement thing, however, the institutions that need to come in place, whether it's the Bank of Industries, whether is this to come in place and just help structure that for them to be able to give both of or three of them or
Everybody